Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. I hope you're doing well. Important video today with 5 tips that you can do right now to improve your credit. So if you are looking for any funding as an individual or a small business, whether that's for a mortgage or for your business or anything else, be sure to watch this video. It's incredibly important, and I'll tell you why now it's particularly important. And you can even take action after watching this video. Be sure to watch until the end. And if you appreciate this video, give it a thumbs up. We want as many people as possible to see this in the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to our channel as well. You know, tips to improving your credit score have been covered across the board, but there have been some changes recently I want to talk about, and even there's talk about life beyond the credit score, looking at other factors in your life to evaluate your credit worthiness. But for the purpose of this video, I will stick to credit because it is still the standard for determining whether you are credit worthy and how credit worthy, which will determine interest rates. Now, if you're a small business owner, you know how important this is, because throughout the pandemic, there have been billions and billions of dollars distributed from federal government programs, especially the SBA, EIDL grant and loan programs, and PPP loan programs. Many people have reported being denied because they don't have a high enough credit score. For example, this is from the new SBA EIDL rules from a few weeks ago, saying in order to be eligible for an EIDL loan, the owner needs to have a minimum credit score of 570. This is a similar requirement to the PPP programs and any other private lender program. So any funding you need for your business or mortgage, it's incredibly important to get that 570 into the 600s, or if you're already in the 600s, to get it up to the 700s and keep improving that score. The second reason this is important now is because Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, said today the Fed could start scaling back stimulus this year. So there's a lot of easy money policies that have been helping people get through the pandemic. And here's an important point. The central bank slashed its short-term benchmark interest rates to near zero when the pandemic hit the US economy last March 2020, and it has been buying $120 billion monthly in treasury and mortgage securities to provide additional stimulus. This, of course, affects the entire economy and makes lending, if you are thinking about lending, again, for a business, for a home, or anything else, interest rates are at an all-time low. So much of this is determined by your credit score. So here are 5 things you can do right now to improve your credit score and be eligible for some of these programs while the money and low interest rates are still available. First, you should know what you're working with. You can go to annualcreditreport.com to check your credit score for free. Also, most big banks have free credit checking and tracking as part of their online interface. For example, this is one from Capital One where you can track your credit, your improvements. Now, Capital One did not sponsor this video, and other banks and lenders have this as well, where you can see where you're at and how to improve it. After you see where you're at today, you should always understand how it's calculated. And the exact calculation varies a little bit by credit score, but the tips here hold true for all of them. Around 35% of your score is determined by on-time payments, 30% based on credit utilization, 15% age of credit, 10% type of credit you have, and 10% hard inquiries on your credit score. Now I'll go into these a little bit with the 5 tips. Now I'll start with the age of your credit, because you can't really control the age of your credit, but it's something to keep in mind. For example, if you're a parent and you have children, you can add a child as an authorized user to your credit card. That will help grow their credit early on in life. You can see in this diagram what's considered below average, average, good, and excellent. If you have less than 2 years of credit history, that's below average. 3 to 7 is average, 8 to 24 is good, and 25 plus is excellent. So you can help others get a head start by having them piggyback on your credit if you have good credit, or you can do this for someone else's credit. If you are having a tough time getting credit as well, have someone who has excellent credit who pays on time. That's very important because you want someone who's responsible, where basically you are added as an authorized user, and most major banks will allow you to transfer that credit history when you do open up your cards. For example, Capital One, Wells Fargo, Discover, and Bank of America all allow you to transfer that credit history from someone else's to your own credit card where you are the primary authorized user. Which leads me to number 2, don't close any old accounts. Because 15% of your score is based on the age of your oldest account, if you are not paying annual fees, keep those credit cards open and just be sure to keep them active so they aren't closed automatically. So you should plan to make a payment like a $1 Amazon gift card or a pack of gum once a year to keep that credit line active so the bank doesn't surprise close it on you and you lose some of that history. The third tip, and perhaps the most important one that you could take action on right now after watching this video, is your credit utilization. Two things you can do here. Since this is a third of your score, you want to keep your credit utilization low. Below average is if you're using 61% or higher of your available credit. Average is 31 to 60%, good 11 to 30%, and excellent is 0 to 10% of available credit. And again, on many of these online banking portals, you can see how much of your credit is used and make a plan to pay down some of those balances to try to get under 30% or even under 10% if you can. I know that's not always possible to pay off those balances. So the flip side is to increase your available credit. And the best way to do that is to search no-fee credit cards that you think you'll qualify for and apply. Again, you usually have a 2-week window to apply for credit cards where it will only show up as one inquiry on your credit report. So if you can increase your credit utilization by 5K, 10K, something in that range, it means that your utilization percentage will go down. If you have 20,000 available to you in credit and you're using 10,000 of it, you would fall in the average bucket here. But if you opened up 2 new no annual fee credit cards with $5,000 limits, that means your new credit limit would be up to 30,000. Then if you paid off a couple thousand, in that example, your credit utilization could get under 30%, which would improve your score. The fourth tip is about on-time payments and late payments. Of course, the easiest thing you can do is set up auto payments for at least the minimum amount, if not the full amount. That's always better to pay the full amount if you can, but at the very least set up minimum payments so you don't get late. That this drastically affects your score. And if you are behind on any payments right now, try to make a payment. You should try to go ahead and make payments. You know, it gets worse the longer you wait. So even if you're 30 days or 60 days past due, it gets worse and worse as time goes on, especially if it goes to a collection agency. That's worst case scenario. Basically, the credit card company is saying, we don't think you're ever going to pay, so we're going to have someone else hassle you and call you every day to try to get some money from you. So just go find those late payments and get on a minimum payment plan. The good news, a lot of lenders have been flexible during the pandemic, so that's some of the good news. And if you do have late payments, consider calling your lender to ask if they can remove the late payment from your account. It's not guaranteed they'll do it, but it can't hurt to ask, especially if you ask nicely. We know, like I said, a lot of lenders have been flexible over the past year and a half, understanding your situation, so it can't hurt to ask the same for lenders if you have any late payments. The fifth and final tip here is Experian Credit Boost. What is this? It basically means you can get credit for bills that you have, like your phone bill, utility bill, and other popular streaming services. This is free with Experian Boost, so it can help move you up. Now you should only do this if you do pay your phone and utility bills on time every month. Of course, if you don't opt for this, but this can also help give you important credit history. So just to recap, consider piggybacking on someone else's credit if you are having a tough time. Have them add you as an authorized user, or consider doing that with any kids you have. Don't close your old accounts. Pay down your balances to decrease credit utilization. At the same time, consider applying to get more available credit, which will also lower your credit utilization. Fourth, on-time payments. Be sure to make them, and consider calling your lender if you do have a late payment to see if they will remove it. And finally, consider the Experian Boost to add in credit history for things like utilities, phone bills, and streaming services. Other things where you make on-time payments, which shows your ability to pay on time consistently and shows your creditworthiness. And all of this will give you more opportunities to apply for more funding, whether it's for a business or for a home. For example, on the Skip Funding Tracker, which is free on the Skip app, go to Hello Skip in the App Store and Google Play. You can set up your funding tracker, track how much funding you need for your business, and different opportunities available to you. But again, a lot of these opportunities require a certain level of credit, 600 plus or 700 plus. So keep that in mind as you grow your credit. You will have many more opportunities open up to you. And after taking these actions, go download our free app. You can get a lot of support there and more tips about this. And you can chat with our team right on the app if you have questions. Most importantly, thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to give this video a like and hit subscribe. Stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.